Hey smokers, Draga1 here. Today we're going to be taking a look at where some of the inspiration came from my album that I made a couple of years ago called Island 2.0. It's been a very difficult topic to cover because it's an idea that really only existed within my mind. But basically you have certain musical themes from different parts of the game. For example, there's the beach theme, there's the information center theme, the police theme, the hospital theme, and a couple other things. So some of the songs are based on kind of like parody or similar versions to the music that was actually present in the game. Some songs were based off locales and not actually the music in said locales. Some were references to specific things that you encountered in the game. There's two tracks that don't really tie into anything so much. One of the songs actually has to do with a glitch that happens in the game. And finally, one of the tracks is a reference to something that happens in the sequel to this game. So let's start off and take a look at some of the different things in this game which inspired the songs on the album. So this is the Information Center theme. It's the first place you start off in the game, at the Information Center. It kind of overlooks the whole island, especially if you're in the observation tower up there. It looks a hell of a lot bigger on the inside than it does on the outside. But there's one specific element to this song that definitely gets carried over. And I don't actually know what makes this sound, but it's part of General MIDI drum kits. But it's basically a guy just going, whoo! Woo! Woo! And you hear it a lot in this theme here. There it is. So it finds its way in the main version of the song, which is going to be played right now. So let's go ahead and take the bicycle, which is always stationed outside the information center, and speed along down. So the real thing with this game is that music is pretty much playing at all times, depending on where you are. And so if I go in here, it's going to play the beach music. If I go over here, it's going to play the... if I'm in this area, it plays the kind of like midtown music. Now this building right here is the subject, interestingly enough, of the second track of the song. Now you can, of course, see that this is just an object, and when you click it, it just sort of spins, because you can't go in it. They didn't model an interior, or I guess pre-render an interior. Now, they mention in the game, if you listen to the radio, that the Super 2, which I suppose is like some sort of clothing store or something, is closed for remodeling.
Terribly sorry, but the store is closed for remodeling. You could help us decide, though. Go ahead. Click on the store.
And it's indefinitely so, because I guess they just didn't... They wanted to flesh out the island a little bit, but they didn't like the post office and the bank. There's no interior to these places. They're just kind of there. And for the buildings that are like that, you can sort of mess with... regardless of the range as well, I believe you can snipe buildings like that. Yeah. So yeah, I made it spin from all the way over there. Yay! So let's take the skateboard just a few feet away to the beach. Now, this song I'm probably going to have to mute out. Now, the Torpedoes, which are actually kind of a surfer-style kind of band, they actually provided the music for the beach scenes and the water skiing parts. They have, I guess, their own albums and stuff, and they provided the music here. So it's probably content ideable. So instead, I'll just play my version of the song, which arguably rips off beach music even more than they did, because it does sound an awful lot like Miserlou, and I did gain a lot of inspiration from that song, I guess you could say. But it definitely does change later on. But this is the extent to the beach. There are no other beaches on the whole island. But yeah, this is the beach music. I spent a lot of time here because I like that song so much. If you want to actually listen to it yourself, you can definitely look it up. People have uploaded the whole soundtrack for this game on YouTube, so you can listen to everything there. It's pretty great.
I'm not a gnarly dude, am I, Dad?
So on to our next attraction. Pretty much all vehicles, it doesn't matter what kind, have sort of a very high speed associated with them. Except the problem is you can never quite get them up to that speed because you can always run into something. So here is the quote-unquote best park ever. It's, the Legondos are always there. They're people that can take themselves apart, do crazy gymnastic stuff, and have no voice lines, as far as I know. That is pretty impressive. But yeah, this is the quote-unquote best park ever. Now, the grass and the dirt demarcates where you can actually walk. But this just patch of dirt here, this is it. This is the whole park. Now, obviously, you could imagine that, you know, people could be out utilizing the rest of the grass, and that this was just sort of a gathering or community area for shows, sort of like the Legondos put on. You really have to use your imagination. I think that's why games with more limited graphics and more basic ideas really got your imagination going, because as you could see, I'm already using my imagination for an area that is otherwise extraordinarily bleak with repetitive textures and that you can't even go into. You can't walk in, you can't see, there's no details, there's no flowers, there's no grass. There's of course a tree and you do see flowers around, but here there's not a whole lot of detail. I know people, I think there is actually a HD remake version that someone's done online. I've not looked this up at all, but I think I saw a couple videos of it that people are trying to totally recreate this place, and by golly, it is very possible to do that because look how simple the polygons are. So the park is, I don't know how I can ride a skateboard near. Oh, here's another little area where you can do park things, I guess. And this is just the specific music just for the park. But we can go ahead and switch to a sample of my park music that is sort of inspired by this. only to say, wow, this park is really underwhelming. Let's try to have as much fun as we possibly can. And what theme comes right after the best park ever? This. You see what's happening? I'm colliding with a clip barrier. An invisible wall, if you will. In fact, this is always the case. There's not a single place in this game, save for, I believe, maybe one little patch of land. I'm going to try and actually find it. Where you can actually walk on the grass. And when I found that patch of land, I'm like, wow, I am like breaking the rules or something. But basically, you cannot. You can go on the dirt just fine. But the grass, no. Doesn't matter where it is. Probably because there's too many slopes on the matrix that makes up the grass. You have a slope here. I really don't remember where the area with the... But yeah, basically, theme of the song is called... The name of the song is called Keep Off the Grass, because that is pretty much a rule that applies... Oh, and keep off the, I guess, edge, because you can't go off the edge either and fall. Okay, this might be it here. It's not. I'll find it. It's right there. I walked on it earlier. Oh, yeah, here, you can walk on the grass. ARPANET doesn't really have any place on the album. I wrote it when I was staying out of town. And, yeah. Now, Hidden Machine may have some sort of reference to the spooky secret cave here. Possibly. But the music here is more sinister and mysterious, while Hidden Machine is sort of a chillaxed track. Take a listen. It could also be a reference to the racetrack, which is totally underground. It's a huge underground racetrack with all sorts of stuff. then I guess you could consider that it was kind of mysterious as a machine, but again, I don't think I was thinking about this when I did it. Probably some of the best music in the game here, and sweet Jesus, look at this place, it's huge! How did this all fit underground? I guess they went pretty deep. So, I mean, I guess if you can relax in a place like this, it looks like a friggin' fever dream. So the next song on the track is dedicated to a glitch in the game, actually. To demonstrate, it requires me to build the buggy ATV thing. So basically, anywhere you are, when you get in the buggy, it will play the Octane racing theme. So you can go to places where it would otherwise trigger different music, like the racetrack, or here, and then if you get in, it'll take you back to this. Now, if you pass into another sector, it will change the music again. But at least for the time being, it's as if you had just visited the... So I got the music turned off here, so you can hear the music when it kicks in, and you'll sort of get an idea of what was going through my head when I first discovered this. I got off the ride a little bit too impatiently, and... yeah, damn. And the thing is, it will drive around at maximum speed, and it will run down civilians. Ah, here it is. For whatever reason, it seems to get stuck right at this opening, probably because it's a little too big. So what we can do here is you can control the speed at which it cruises around, depending on what the speed you were when you got off. So let's try and get it slow here. And there it goes. Now, I'm not sure if this is a glitch or this is intentional, but it follows the walking paths of the citizens. And I called it World's Fastest ATV because it would go everywhere across the island at max speed. This probably would have been a good place to try, and you can get back in it and catch it. So let's try and see what kind of mayhem it will wreak in the park. Wreak? See it. It's still going. And it always stops right on cue. So yeah, oh, it's running into my skateboard, that's what it is. Otherwise it would have kept going. Whoops. I was used to it stopping here. I remember it stopping there. That's weird. Now, of course, we have the song that a lot of people that I actually had listened to this song really liked it. I was kind of surprised why people liked this next song a lot. It's called Pizzazz. And as Pepper, you have to deliver a pizza to the Brickster Um, Pizza is actually, oddly, how he gets out of jail. That's sort of the plot of the game. Oh my god. And out of nowhere, everything just wants to stop you from getting to the jail. Everybody decides to have a frickin' party. The dead come out of the goddamn graves, and oh my lord. Correct. And you can see where the song gets its namesake. Oh my god, after all that, it's still going. Oh, what? We can, of course, recall to the information center in time. So that pretty much covers all the songs that were in this game. The next song is based on the Ogle skydiving thing. That's why it's called Terminal Velocity. And I really like the, again, EDM music in that track. Man, there's a lot of good EDM music in these old Windows 98 games. It's crazy. Unfortunately, I don't have a save game right at that point in the game because I would have to play through the entire game of Lego Island 2, and it is a grind to go through all that to get quite to that point. So, and since I'm not willing to just rip off someone else's video on YouTube, I would say if you want to see what the skydiving levels look like beyond the images here, just go look it up. Look up the music too. There was a guy, I don't know if the files are still up, but he did a rip of the music in Lego Island 2 so good that he imported the actual music tracks. It was like direct music tracks, like DirectX music tracks. He imported them into FL Studio, remastered them a little bit, and then exported them. And it sounds pretty damn great, and it's probably the best copy you can get of that, but I don't remember what it is. If I can figure it out, it'll be in the description. So thanks for watching in my indulgent little nostalgia trip into Lego Island and how it inspired the album I made, Island 2.0. Thanks everybody for watching, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah, and the intro track is a total ripoff of the music from Lego Loco. Supposed to make you think there's like a crazy ass rave party going on inside there. I sort of was going for the same thing with the intro track, but yeah. Also, the credits are pretty cool too. Actually, it's cool to the point where you see all these very iconic pieces of artwork. I saw all these pieces of artwork as a kid in Lego Island as its parody form. Than I did before I actually saw the originals. So I'd see stuff like that guy with the apple in front of his face. And instead it's Nick Brick with the brick in front of his face. So like I recognize that as like, oh, that's like the thing from Lego Island, right? Hey, look, QA testing. They don't do that anymore. Now it's just called EA testing. Don't worry, the EA stands for early access. Even better. Oh!